For a princess born into a life of privilege, the weight of family can be heavy. But for Princess Beatrice, that weight has reportedly become almost unbearable. The storm surrounding her family, a relentless tempest of scandal and disgrace, isn't just a distant headline. It's a personal crisis playing out on the world stage. Caught in an impossible crossfire between love for her disgraced father and the cold reality of the institution she represents, Beatrice is reportedly finding the unrelenting crisis very hard. Sources close to the princess describe a woman in profound emotional turmoil, watching as her world changes forever. This isn't just a public relations problem. It's a deep, personal, and familial crisis that is impacting her life and future. In this video, we'll explore the eye of the York family storm to understand the immense emotional toll it's taking on a daughter whose loyalty may be her greatest virtue and her most devastating burden. We'll look at the real events that led to this point, the fractures appearing in her life, and the difficult choices that lie ahead for her and her sister, Princess Eugenie. To understand the crisis engulfing Princess Beatrice, you have to understand the sheer scale of the scandals that have rocked the House of York. This wasn't a single event. It's a reputational cataclysm that has made the family name, as one royal expert bluntly put it, truly toxic. The central figure, of course, is Beatrice's father, Prince Andrew. Once a celebrated war hero, Andrew is now a man in exile from public life. He was stripped of his royal and military titles by his late mother, Queen Elizabeth II, and his brother, King Charles. His fall from grace has been absolute. The catalyst was his long and disturbing association with the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Despite a multi-million-dollar out-of-court settlement with his accuser Virginia Giuffre, whom he has always maintained he cannot recall meeting, the cloud of suspicion has never lifted. The storm hasn't been limited to Andrew. His ex-wife and the mother of his children, Sarah Ferguson, has faced her own series of scandals over the years. This includes a notorious cash for access sting and her own financial difficulties, which once led her to accept money from Jeffrey Epstein to help pay off a debt. This convergence of scandals has created what insiders call a massive personal crisis. It's a toxic inheritance, and at the very center of it are two daughters left to carry the immense weight of their parents' actions. For Princess Beatrice, this is more than a family disgrace. It is a profound and personal anguish. Sources have described her as mortified and tearful, grappling with a heart divided. On one side is her deep-seated loyalty and love for her parents. On the other is the crushing reality of their public downfall and the collateral damage it inflicts on her own life. Her loyalty to her father is well documented. It was widely reported that Beatrice was instrumental in persuading Prince Andrew to sit down for the now infamous 2019 BBC Newsnight interview. It was seen by many as a daughter's attempt to help her father tell his side of the story. Tragically, it backfired spectacularly. The interview was a PR disaster that destroyed his credibility and led directly to his withdrawal from public duties. An act of love from a devoted daughter may have inadvertently sealed her father's public fate. One can only imagine the burden of regret that Beatrice might now carry. She has tried to maintain a quiet grace, a stoicism that reminds many of her late grandmother. But behind the composed public facade, friends report a woman struggling to cope. Bea has found the scrutiny very hard, especially the strain of the past few weeks, a friend revealed. It has felt as though things have been in freefall, and she's being hammered and bullied by commentators. Another source described her as regularly bursting into tears, not for her father's plight, but for the implosion of her own world and the cold shoulder she now feels from the wider family. She's trapped. If she stands by her father, she's seen as naive or complicit. If she distances herself, she's seen as disloyal. This is the core of Beatrice's torment, a daughter caught in a loyalty trap where every choice feels like the wrong one. When a public scandal rages, the sanctuary of home is often the only safe harbor. But for Princess Beatrice, even that has come under uncomfortable scrutiny, with speculation swirling around her marriage to property developer Edoardo Mapelli Mazzi. Gossip columns went into overdrive when Eduardo took a business trip, placing him thousands of miles away from his wife, just as the family crisis reached a fever pitch. Commentators questioned the optics of him not being by her side, and reports began to surface suggesting things haven't been great for a while. The narrative pushed was of a marriage in trouble, with a husband pulling away just when his wife needed him most. However, sources close to the couple have pushed back hard against these claims. One insider stated that any suggestion their marriage is in trouble is entirely wide of the mark. Another clarified to Hello that Eduardo's trips have been for business and that things are great between them, with the only distance being physical due to work. This paints a different picture, not of a husband fleeing a crisis, but of a man supporting his wife through an unimaginable ordeal while protecting his own family. Needing a safe space herself, Beatrice has also reportedly been leaning heavily on her cousin, Zara Tindall. Unlike many of her royal cousins, Zara has never held a royal title and lives her life largely outside the formal monarchy. Known for her down-to-earth nature, she represents an escape from the suffocating pressures of the institution. She reportedly invited both Beatrice and Eugenie to her home, offering a private refuge and a shoulder to cry on, far from the public glare. Throughout their lives, Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie have been inseparable allies. From navigating their parents' public divorce as children to royal events, their bond has been a constant. Now, as they face the biggest crisis of their lives, that sisterhood is being tested like never before. And while their unity remains, subtle differences in their approaches are starting to show. Sources say both sisters are trying to figure out how to protect their own young families from the fallout, but they appear to be taking different positions on how to handle their parents. Beatrice, the elder sister, is seen as the more conflicted of the two. She has always tried to smooth things over and is reportedly struggling to balance her loyalty with the reality of the situation. Her approach seems to be one of quiet endurance, trying to hold the fractured pieces of her family together. Princess Eugenie, on the other hand, appears to be taking a firmer, more distant stance. This is made easier by the fact that she, her husband Jack Brooksbank, and their two young sons are now based largely in Portugal. This physical distance allows for a more definitive separation. In a telling detail, it's been reported that Jack has firmly resisted any suggestion that Sarah Ferguson might come to live with them, wanting to protect their home from the drama. These different paths don't signal a rift between the sisters, but they do highlight the impossible choices they each have to make. One sister tries to manage the crisis from within, while the other seeks to escape its gravitational pull by creating clear distance. As the storm continues, the most pressing question for Beatrice and Eugenie is, what does the future hold? As non-working royals who still carry the title of Princess and Her Royal Highness, their positions have become incredibly precarious. Professionally, the York brand is a liability. Both sisters have careers, Beatrice in tech and Eugenie in the art world. But the toxicity of their family name now presents a significant reputational risk for any organization associated with them. They are, as one commentator put it, collateral damage of their parents' choices. Their future within the monarchy itself is even more tenuous. King Charles has long favored a slimmed-down monarchy, and the York scandals have only accelerated this vision. Reports suggest a distinct cooling of attitudes towards the princesses from within the palace. It has been suggested in some reports that Prince William has advised other royals to avoid being photographed with them. While some outlets claimed the sisters would be banned from key events like Royal Ascot, others reported they were indeed invited, leaving their public status unclear. This leads to the ultimate question of their titles. While their place in the line of succession is set by law, their HRH styles are not. Experts have predicted that they may eventually lose their royal titles, either by decree or by choosing to give them up voluntarily to make a cleaner break. The solution may not be a path back into the royal fold, but a forced reinvention as private citizens, a kind of quiet, unofficial exile. The story of Princess Beatrice is a modern royal tragedy. She is a woman trapped by birthright, a daughter paying the price for the sins of her parents. We see a person described as kind and loyal, who now finds that very loyalty has become her heaviest cross to bear. She is navigating the implosion of her family, enduring public scrutiny, and facing a future where the identity she has always known may be slipping away. Friends say she is trying to keep her life moving, focusing on her job and her children to stay mentally strong. But she remains caught in the heart of the storm, a painful reminder that behind the palace walls and grand titles are real people facing profound and gut-wrenching personal crises. Her path forward isn't clear at all. She is a princess in limbo, a daughter with a divided heart, just trying to find her footing on ground that is constantly shifting beneath her feet. What do you think the future holds for Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, thank you for watching.